The Sendine Hospitality Cloud is an integrated technology platform driving marketing and sales performance in more than 30,000 hotels around the globe. The award-winning CRM suite integrates with hundreds of technology platforms to capture intent, preferences, past behavior, and satisfaction for every guest. Learn more at Sendine.com. That's CENDYN.com.
Welcome to the Hotel Tech Podcast. This is the show where we tackle your most pressing issues to bring your business more wins. Keeping up with technology is challenging. Our experts are here to help you figure it all out. Here's your hosts, Glenn Houseman and Estella Hale.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hotel Tech Podcast with me, your co-host Glenn Houseman. I'm sitting here with the one and only incredible Chief Evangelist Estella Hale of SHR. Estella, how are you?
Doing great. Just having an amazing time at HITEC. And just already a busy week. It just started.
That's right. Yeah, well, all right. I know it just started for us over here, but for all of you listeners over there, the HITEC is probably way back in your rearview mirror right now. I don't know if you've recovered yet from it. You might not have, but I will tell you we're having an absolute great time broadcasting here from the show floor at HITEC 2019 in Minneapolis. And today we've got a great guest, Collette Barss. She is the revenue manager with Portola Hotel and Spa at Monterey Bay. First of all, I think the place to open this up with is, I don't like people from California. You got better weather than we do. You seem to be happier than us New Yorkers are. So I'm a little worried about how this conversation is going to go.
Totally, dude.
All right, now she's just rubbing it in, Estella.
I better jump in.
Yeah. I mean, I like how you say totally, dude. I've lived in Brooklyn for 20 years, so we don't have that. We're like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? So we're going to see what's up with this Hotel Tech podcast because, Estella, I understand we're going to talk a little bit about PMS systems, property management systems. The one thing that I always wonder about is, why do they call them PMS systems if the S is already in there? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We're going to be figuring out that mystery and more today on today's podcast. So, Estella, maybe you two could start it off because I'm kind of an observer here. I don't really have much interactions with the PMS.
Absolutely. So what has been interesting to me is just really the evolution of how the PMS is seen by hoteliers and how it was really portrayed as the very central system for the management of hotels, which it is. But it really has been relegated to that in-house system, if you will, and everything that happens before and after, it's almost like isolated when there's so much information that could be gained for welcoming that guest. What is your perspective on that, Collette?
Definitely. The PMS system is a siloed system. And I feel like it's that system now that has become that you use it to check in and check out the guest.
Yeah.
Right.
But
to be fair, as a guest, I've never checked out. I'm still registered at like 500 hotels in the last 5 years.
Well, we check you out.
Oh, okay.
We see that you have departed.
But not in a dirty kind of way.
No. Well,
Too
there's
bad. I
maybe
was
some
hoping
people.
someone would check me out, but never going to happen.
So that's why you don't check out. You want somebody
That's
to
right.
check you out. Okay,
Good point.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is a siloed system. We have to have all these different integrations with that PMS to accommodate, to establish what we need from it, to find out about that guest, to find out about that revenue that we need to get more guests into the property. That's why we have to have the CRS in there, the CRM, right? And
That one is a puzzle to me. I mean, profiles have existed on property management system from the get-go, but yet nothing was done with them, and it was necessary to now integrate a CRM to simply reach out to guests whose profiles are already in the system. I thought that was just such a great opportunity for PMSs to jump into. But it seems to be that it just continues to be relegated to the check and check out operation.
Totally. And without a CRM, trying to extract that data from a PMS is like, it's so old school in a way to put it. You know, you have to, extract that data into like an Excel document and work with this raw data. And who wants to do it? Who has time for that, right? So you have to have all these different systems working together. Ideally, you want to have one system.
Right.
That would do it all, like some hospitality system in a sense, right? That can house all this data, check in, check out your guests.
Something like a property management system.
A true property management system does it all.
Let's jump in the Wayback Machine real quick, and and talk about like how PMSs originally started. They were on-premise type of systems, and they weren't really built to do what they're expected to perform now. It's kind of like they were the unwitting brains of the hotel. They didn't know what was happening. Suddenly, it kind of happened, and more has been demanded of the property management system. But fortunately, we've moved to off-premise systems, cloud-based systems, which really seem to be opening up the opportunities now for smarter integrations, better control over data. How are you seeing it at Portola right now? What type of system are you using? Not necessarily the company.
Yeah, so we have an on-premise system.
Okay.
I've heard some mixed reviews on a cloud-based system. I think the possibilities of what a cloud-based system can do is pretty awesome. I know for my kind of role at the hotel, I love that on-the-go flexibility.
Right.
So I eventually want a cloud-based system, but the PMS has to be able to accommodate the operations of a cloud-based system. So until they can get to that point.
So what does your system do on premise that makes you super happy that you're not comfortable yet to move off the premise?
I think, because we have so many different interfaces set up with it, it has to handle all those different interfaces. And I think that that's part of the issue if we went to the cloud, maybe handling all those interfaces. There's some interfaces that I understand cannot accommodate the cloud-based system. And that's some of the issues you have with working with a PMS, right? If you change to, from on-prem to cloud, maybe some systems can't accommodate that change. So that's just some of the issues with the PMS, right? You have to work with so many different integrations. And
then you have to make sure that they want to work with each other, because that is another pain point. I think in the industry in general, coming from a technology perspective and a distribution perspective, because we end up powering that consumer side of the booking engine, we know so many things come into account at that endpoint where decisions are made. And many times we want more relevant information that can help us bring a different experience. But we encounter the API says that you get this much data, or there's no API for what you're trying to accomplish. And so really the conversation with the PMS systems and what can be accomplished in an integration beyond some of the APIs that exist today is something that would benefit the industry. But what do you think? Would that be something that would be relevant for hoteliers, specifically independent hoteliers, that can control more that PMS decision?
Yeah, I do think that would be helpful. I mean, to have that kind of data readily accessible for me, I think would be something really useful for an independent hotel.
The 100% cloud-based SkyTouch hotel operations platform is designed to enhance guest experience, advance performance, and achieve growth. The sky's the limit with the SkyTouch PMS, advanced rate and group management tools, advanced business intelligence tools, /Connect API, and SkyTouch University and customer community. Visit skytouchtechnology.com to learn more. So what do you think about the state of your PMS these days and what it allows you to actually accomplish and get closer to the guest? Do you use CRM in it? Does he have a plugin for that?
Yeah, we do. So like I'm literally just using my PMS most of the time. It's for the check-in and check-out feature.
Yeah.
If I'm on the go, it's more the CRM or even like our RMS. If I'm on the go.
Right, and that would be revenue management.
A revenue management system.
So you can do on the go even though it's an on-premise system, or as you so cleverly called it, on-prem, which I like a lot.
Yes. So our revenue management system is not on-prem. So that is on
Okay,
the go.
right.
Yeah. Basically, the only
That's
thing
why you
on-prem
use
is the
that one.
PMS.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you want if you're going to be investing in a new property management system? Give me your wish list.
Ooh. I would love something that, could be on a mobile device, a tablet or a phone, right? That I would love my housekeepers to be able to easily see the status of a room. And I know that there's like plug-in systems to a PMS, but I want something that's not a plug-in system. I want something that they can just see it on the PMS, right? That would be really awesome. I think they'd appreciate it. Something where I'm able to see easily the occupancy on a phone, right? I could put a room out of order on my phone, something like that. That would be really cool to see. To just see that guest profile information on there, and just see that guest history, all that kind of that rich data on there, without having to extract it into this Excel document that's just got so much. Maybe more features to merge profiles to make that a simpler process, because that's a messy, complicated process there. You've probably seen, when you've got guests that have come many times and maybe they stay and maybe just one little minor thing's different, a different email.
And you got to do.
And you've got to do. Yes.
And also, I think just knowing who responds to what, staying within this profile conversation, even in a system that you're using for check-in and check-out, knowing that what motivated someone to stay with you was a response to some digital marketing, was a particular amenity that they saw. Having that at the check-in process, is that something that hotels should expect?
Definitely. That's something so basic, and to be able to assist the guest that you need to have. And going back to some more things, I'm thinking of some more things I'd like to see from a PMS. These are just some basic things you think you'd want from any company, right? The right to be able to change my password and not charge me for it.
Yes.
Hopefully I'm not giving away which PMS I use there. But something so basic like that, or being able to change my confirmations. Some basic things like I know that I could do it if I had the rights to do it. Like I feel like I'm pretty tech savvy, but I just don't even have the capabilities to do it in there.
What about reporting features?
They could be so much better,
right?
So they go into like a PDF or something right now, and I could put them into Excel, but they're so sloppy in Excel that I have to do so much cleaning up. So reporting, could definitely be a lot better. And they have to be, right now we're hiring an outside company that again is an interface so that I can get better reporting, because I can't rely on the reporting in a PMS either.
Right. Yeah, that's a total bummer.
Right? Yeah. Because obviously the data's there. It's just, I have to, you have to hire these other companies to extract this beautiful data that's in there. You just can't get it out in the right way, right?
And
it's like I know it's in there. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like the PMS is like, it's in there, but I don't know how to spit out the words, right? I don't know how to explain it.
That's great. Estella, this is an interesting problem. It's 2019, but people still seem to be struggling. As an outside observer, I would have thought this would have been taken care of years ago.
It is such a big decision for hotels to change their property management system. So I think many times they continue to make do with what they have. And because they have this high tolerance, on the vendor side, responses such as not having access to privileges or charging for stuff that in many other systems and industries you would not charge for are still tolerated. So I think the ability to get out to the market, the options that exist today so hotels can truly consider, is this the best system for me, is one of the things that will help that pain point. I think conferences like HITEC are a good way to see what is out there, in one setting. The reality is that as much as we hear that a lot of these systems are commodities, they're not. That's why there's requests for proposals for these systems, because you have to look at your operation and see what fits for you. But within that context, especially from an independent perspective, an independent hotelier perspective, having the power to choose and the power to move from another to another vendor, that is one of the things that will start making that change.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I feel like if you're like a brand new hotel,
Right.
Like you have so many possibilities and what you can do. And imagine if there becomes this all-in-one system, right? This true PMS or hospitality system that can do all of this. Imagine that brand new hotel that can establish that system. If there becomes a vendor that can handle all of those things, how awesome that would be to have that technology.
Right.
But an existing hotel having to switch to something like that, it is hard. Like you said, you know, a lot of hotels, you know, you just stick with whatever you have because it is hard to transition from one PMS to another, or from a CRS to another CRS, or CRM to, you know, it's hard to make that transition. But sometimes you have to, you know.
Sometimes you have to. And again, I think when you evaluate and have the opportunity to do that, I think that is an advantage for an independent hotel.
Right. So, you know, you're the hotel and spa. How does the spa figure into the whole PMS, if at all?
So we actually don't have the spa configured into our PMS.
That's what I was thinking.
They are very separate.
Yeah.
But I know there are some PMS systems that can accommodate spas.
So how does that work for billing the customer?
So we can, with our spa, for example, we can set it up where guests can charge to their room.
Right.
And so the spa can be on there. But it's just like...
It's managed separately and just interface for charge purposes.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a little different in our case because we're not managing the spa.
Ah.
Yes,
okay.
We're not managing the spa, so that's where it's a little different.
Right.
But I know like other properties that manage it, you can set up a PMS where they're doing the spa, so it gets even more complicated. And then you can put golf in the mix.
Right.
Yes.
So if you have a property that has golf too, then that PMS gets even more complicated.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Collette, what's it going to take for me to put you in a new PMS today? Like you're here, you're at HITEC, right? What would compel you to say, I've got to make the switch this year instead of sticking with the system because it's just inertia?
Oh, well, as much as I love cloud-based, I know my IT guy isn't so much into it, but I would love that cloud-based system, right? And amazing customer support.
Right.
Yeah.
Give me one that has amazing customer support. And then definitely connection with some key systems that I use.
Excellent.
Because I don't think there's a PMS out there that can do everything right now.
Right.
I think that's in the future of where we're going to go. I do think that is what's going to happen.
And the industry is demanding it more and more in order to consider that switch. So I think it's pretty connected today. I mean, when I see from our perspective, so we do distribution. So from a CRS perspective, we connect to over 40 PMSs. And a handful of those, we do a full two-way profile and reservation sync, which I've been in the industry for quite a while. And
I can't believe that.
And that was unheard of, maybe even a decade ago. So I think we are seeing more and more that demand of it being there by the time somebody switches.
Right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Collette, any final thoughts on the wonderful world of PMS?
Well, it's obviously something all the hotels need. So we got, we got to live with it. But definitely having those systems out there that are willing to integrate with all the PMS and work with our challenges. We appreciate all those systems out there willing to work with us. And if you can help us to not have to call our PMS, that's always greatly appreciated.
Estelle, any final thoughts?
I think that key point should drive every PMS vendor to look again at that layer of service over the technology. Well, number one, the usability of the technology.
Right.
To see what that user experience is. And then number two, that layer of service over the technology, because it is such a critical system. And again, many vendors that we partner or integrate with have some great options, but as you mentioned, Collette, it is really looking at the mapping of everything that must be integrated to create that experience.
Excellent. So I think this has been a fun episode. So good word comes to this is Colette's first ever podcast appearance. I hope you thought it went all right.
Oh, yes, it was fun. Thank you.
right.
I
Excellent.
totally do.
Very fun.
All right. I'm relieved because Stella, I was really nervous that she would not have a good time on this podcast, and that would be very sad. So before we wrap up, I want to thank everybody for listening, and you can find this show and all past shows, of course, on SHR's website, which is shr.global, and on the No Vacancy News Network. You find that at novacancynews.com or on iTunes. Well, not iTunes anymore. Now it's Apple Podcasts and, of course, Google Play. Wherever your finer podcasts are found, and the not fine podcasts as well. Or sign up for our weekly newsletter. Just text the word hotel to 66866. Easy enough. You got your phone on you all the time. Text the word hotel to 66866, and you'll get a word on every single episode that we do here on the No Vacancy News Network. So for Colette, Estella, and myself, I want to thank you all for listening to this latest edition of the Hotel Tech Podcast on the show floor at HITEC. See you all next time.